to do a little video about mistakes, but this is proving a really difficult video for me to do for you because I'm trying to figure out why. I guess it's because I help people in my studio shop. So people come in, and if they've made a mistake or have a problem, I sit down and I talk it through with them. There's so many different ways to make a mistake. And I just wanted to help people on the, how to knit journey that we're all doing, to say it's okay to make mistakes, and we're all gonna do them. I finished doing a design last night and it's not quite right. It's only a little baby waistcoat. I'm going to re-knit it. So you could say that that is a mistake, but it's not a mistake. I can't get it right until I've got it wrong. And I always say that about everything in some ways. You can't get it right until you've got it wrong. And so you have to do it. Basically, you've got to do it. So I was just trying to do experiments on the most common things that people come in to Pearl and Jane querying. A lot of people will come in and say they can't knit because they've made a mistake. And I'm like, that does mean you're knitting. You got to make the mistakes to be knitting. It's just what happens. And I guess it's a bit like Google. This video, I feel, is a bit like Google. If you've got an illness or you're worried about something, you put it into Google and we all know what happens. And also sometimes the symptoms don't actually match what we're complaining about. So sometimes it's just nice to go and chat to someone. I don't necessarily mean a doctor or anything, just someone that maybe knows. That's the thing. Someone that says, oh yeah, I get that as well, and it's fine, because that's most of the time we just want reassurance, don't we? And we don't want the other diagnosis that we see on the internet. So that's what I wanted with this video, was to help with mistakes. But I'm going to do a mistake video because I am having a problem trying to do this video. Like I say, so I could show you drop stitches, and I could show you increasing and decreasing and all things like that, and I will do short videos to show those things, but there's so many different ways that you can get there. I guess what I really love is when people have a problem. That sounds wrong, but I love it when people come in to the studio shop and say, this is what's happening here, and I'm like, oh, that's what's happening there. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know what you've done there, but let's just take it back. And sometimes that's all you can do. If you make a mistake, just take it back, but don't worry about it. I guess that's the thing. Maybe that's what I should have started with. Don't worry about making mistakes, and also don't worry if you do have to take it back. That's another thing. If you do have to take rows back, it's absolutely fine. There's different sorts of knitters, and I guess I am a process knitter because I knit because I enjoy the stitches. So I knitted this scarf along with you, and I don't knit it thinking I'm knitting a scarf. I mean, obviously I'm knitting a scarf, but I just think, oh, I've got a couple of minutes. I just sit down and I'll do a row. I don't think, oh, I'll just sit down and I'll complete a scarf. And I guess that's the thing. I knit stitches, which are like, yeah, so do I. But some people, I feel, they get the yarn, or they feel, or maybe not some knitters, but some people who don't knit, they think, oh, I get a ball of yarn and boom, oh, hang on, ball of yarn, boom, knit a scarf. And it's not like that. It's a ball of yarn, stitches. And so if I have to take these stitches out because I've made a mistake, I don't mind, because it just means more bang for my buck. So I can re-knit the stitches and, yeah, get more knitting out of a ball of yarn. Obviously this isn't one ball of yarn, this is 3 so far. And then I guess the other thing is, yeah, let me do this video on how I can't do a video. And maybe I'll think about it a bit more. I am doing the classic. I don't know how to do this mistake video, so I'll do one as a mistake and we'll take it from there. Because yeah, I tried making mistakes, because one of the things is people talk about increasing. And so what can happen is, at the beginning of your row here, you've got that stitch. You want that yarn down and back, because if it's up and over, it looks like you've got 2 stitches. So that's a common way to increase. But I tried to do that, but obviously something in my brain just wasn't, I couldn't make that mistake on purpose. So yeah. What else? So holes is another thing. And again, I tried to do, well, I did make a hole. And the only thing you can do here is take it back. So if you've got a hole, you've just got to take it back. So I think most of the time is with mistakes and things, is you're going to make them, embrace it, and it's just taking it back to where that happened. The other thing is, don't be afraid. These stitches are off the needle, but they're not going anywhere. The only time they go anywhere is if people panic. So what I've seen with some beginner knitters is they will get somewhere in their row and they will drop the stitch, they'll miss it or something, and they'll drop it. And so most of the time, it's not going to do it now, but that drop stitch will stay there. You can just pull it back up again and put it on your needle. The time that it will drop through is when you panic. So stitch drops off your needle, keep calm, it's not going anywhere. Just keep them close together, put it back on your needle. It's going to drop if you go, ah! It's fallen off! Where's it gone? Oh no! And then you start doing this, and that's what's happened. So we've got a dropped stitch there. Now, I'm going to take that back. There is a way that you can pick that stitch up. In fact, there's lots of different ways to do this. People use crochet hooks and all sorts of things. I use the needle, and you've got to look to see where so that's the first thread that I've got to pick up. But I will show you a video. I'll do a close-up video on how to do that. But in the meantime, just take the stitches off. You can do it stitch by stitch, but you can just gently pull the knitting back to where that stitch has dropped. And then what I do, so there's my drop stitch, there's my big stitch, and again, don't worry about big stitches at the end of the rows. They're not going to stay there forever, or they're not going to stay big forever. So I put the stitches back, and then I will, when I get, so this is where the thread is, I will just do it one by one or two. Just pull but again, I'll do a close-up video of that so people can see how to do that and how to put the knitting back on your needles. Okay, so yeah, hopefully I've cleared that in my head. Thanks very much for helping me sort out how to do the next bit on this Learn to Knit course. And yeah, I'll do some videos for you. If you have any suggestions, put them in the comment below, and I'll do what you suggest for knitting. Any knitting suggestions for mistakes? Any knitting mistake suggestions? There we go.